Hello everyone. Last time we have explained about various branches of cell biology. Today we are going to explain next topic, shape and size of the cells. The eukaryotic cells exhibit various shapes and sizes. The eukaryotic cells means these are the cells having true nucleus. U means true and karyon means nucleus. So these are the cells having true nucleus, or nucleus is bounded by a definite nuclear membrane enclosing nucleoplasm or the nuclear materials like chromatin or the chromosomes, and thus the cells such as plant cells or the animal cells are the examples of the eukaryotic cells, and they exhibit different shapes and sizes. The animal cells are generally spherical or oval, but cell may be cuboidal, polygonal, tubular, triangular, irregular, or cylindrical. So these are the various shapes of the cells found among the animals. The animals are having usually spherical or oval cells, but the cell may have different shapes such as cuboidal, polygonal, tubular, triangular, irregular, or amoeboid or cylindrical. Depending on the nature or function, the shape of the cell also shows variations. Depending on the nature of the function, Depending on the nature or function of the cells, the shape of the cell also shows variations. Even the cells of the same organ may display or have variations in a shape. Following are different shapes of the cells. First one, that is constantly changing shape. So these are the cells which change their shape constantly or regularly. The protozoans like amoeba and the leukocytes has variable shapes. Means the protozoan like amoeba, they can change their shape continuously, or leukocytes, that is WBCs, white blood corpuscles, these are also having amoeboid shape, and the shape of these cells can be changed time to time because of their amoeboid movements or their phagocytic functions. So these cells are having constantly changing plasma membrane or the covering, and which will be changed at the time of phagocytic processes. So whenever they ingest the certain substances, solid substances, at that time the cell wall or the cell membrane uh, getting changed due to the phagocytic actions of these cells like leukocytes or even amoeba, which is also feeding onto the food materials. At that time the shape of the amoeba is changing, or even when the amoeba moves through a narrow passage, at that time also the shape of the pseudopodium of the amoeba get changed so as to pass through a narrow passage. So these are the cells which change their shape constantly like amoeba or leukocytes. Then fixed shape. There are some type of cells, majority of the cells, they show fixed shape which remain constant. The shape of the cell remain constant throughout their lifespan. Or cuboidal, the cells of squamous epithelium, endothelium, and the upper layer of epidermis, and the cells of thyroid gland follicles are cuboidal in a shape, means having square like shape or a cube like shape, and such cells are found among the squamous epithelium or endothelium and the upper layer of the epidermis, and the cells of the thyroid gland follicles are cuboidal in shape. Then columnar type of cells, which are tall columnar or rectangular cells, and the cells of lining of the intestine are columnar in shape. So the columnar cells usually the absorptive cells of the intestine are columnar in a shape. Means these are tall columnar or rectangular, and they are performing the function of absorption of the digested food material from the lumen of intestine. Then discoidal, disc-like. The erythrocytes or red blood corpuscles of the vertebrates are disc-shaped. Means these are having flat spherical cells. These cells are flat and spherical, representing discoidal shape. And the example of discoidal cells in the animals, that is erythrocytes or red blood corpuscles of the vertebrates. Then spherical. The eggs of many animals are rounded or spherical in a shape. The eggs of the many animals are round or spherical in a shape. Spindle shaped cells. The smooth muscles are elongated. The smooth muscle cells are elongated and spindle shaped. Spindle shaped cells which are found in the body musculature, and wherever there are smooth type of muscles, the smooth muscle cells are elongated and spindle shaped, means are narrow or tapering at both the ends. Then elongated type of cells which are having much longer length. Nerve cells are elongated in shape. Nerve cells or the neurons or the nerve fibers which are much elongated or having longer length and thus representing elongated shape. Nerve cells are elongated in shape. Then branched cells, the pigment cells like chromatophores of the skin are branched type. The pigment or chromatophore cells, the pigment cells or the chromatophore cells of the skin like melanocytes are branched. The size of the cells vary from very small cells of the bacteria, that is 0.2 to 5 micron, 0.2 micron to 5 micron. So this is very small size of the cells of the bacteria to the very large size of the egg of ostrich, measures up to 175 millimeter in a diameter. The ostrich egg is considered as the largest cell. The ostrich egg is considered as the largest cell. The longest nerve cell have length of 0.92 to 1.06 meter. The longest nerve cell, these are elongated cells, and the length of the longest nerve cell or the neuron is 0.92 to 1.06 meter. The following factors govern the size of the cells. So there are, among the animals, the shapes of the cells are very different, and the size of the cell is also ranging from very small, that is 0.2 micron, to 175 millimeter in a diameter. So 0.2 to 5 micron shape, size of the bacteria, 0.2 to 5 micron size of the bacteria, that is the smallest one, and the larger size of the ostrich egg, which is 175 millimeter in a diameter, and the longest nerve cell have the length of up to 1.06 meter. So there are some factors which govern the size of the cell or which influences the size of the cell, such as the nucleocytoplasmic ratio. The nucleocytoplasmic ratio. So this is the ratio of nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. The nucleocytoplasmic ratio. So the ratio of size of nucleus and the size of the or volume of the cytoplasm. So the nucleocytoplasmic ratio, it is the ratio between the volume of nucleus and the volume of the cytoplasm. It is the ratio between volume of the nucleus and volume of the cytoplasm. That is the nucleocytoplasmic ratio, which influences the size of the cells. Then secondly, the ratio of the cell surface to the cell volume, and thirdly, the rate of metabolism. The rate of metabolism. So, of course, or is quite obvious that if the rate of metabolism is higher, the cells are having larger size, and if cells having less activities or the rate of metabolism, ultimately the size of the cell will be small. So these are the factors governing or affecting or influencing the size of the cells, and these are the nucleocytoplasmic ratio, that is the ratio of the volume of nucleus and the cytoplasm, volume of nucleus and volume of cytoplasm. And secondly, the ratio of the cell surface and the cell volume, and thirdly, the rate of metabolism. So these are the important parameters or the factors influencing the size of the cell. So this is the figure showing various shapes of the cell. So in figure we can see the sperm or the male gamete having elongated structure, having shape like a tadpole larva of the amphibian, representing elongated cell. Then a diatom, these are having uh, the shape of the spherical or the conidium like structures, representing diatom cell. Then epithelial cells are the cuboidal cells. Then liver cell having polygonal shape, then serratium having star-like shape, then diatom is again another that is cuboidal, fibroblast having amoeboid or irregular shape, then fat cells which are round in a shape, then muscle cells, these are elongated or spindle shaped, osteocytes or osteoblasts having star shape, chromatophores which are also having branched structures, or goblet cells having vessel-like shape, or the nerve cells which are also elongated cells, or the sperm cells which are having either longer length or maybe smaller in size, ostrich egg having ovoid or oval shape, or leukocytes or WBCs which are also having liver cells are leukocytes are having the amoeboid shape or irregular shape, and even the RBCs or erythrocytes having discoidal shape or the flat spherical cells, or the squamous cells that are again flat cells, epithelial cells of the superficial layers of the skin having squamous epithelium may have square size, but they are somewhat flat or squamous type. So there are different type of cells found among the animals which are having variable shapes. So this is what about various types of the eukaryotic cells showing different shapes. The next point is importance of cell biology and its applications in an industry. The cell is a fundamental structural and functional unit of living organisms, just as atom, just as the atom is the fundamental unit of the chemical structures. The cell can be considered to be an organism like a protozoa and composed of many elements. Our advanced knowledge of the cell has produced a fundamental change in the interpretation of the cellular structures. At a cellular level, the ultrastructure is concerned with the larger repeating units that can be analyzed with microscopic techniques. Electron microscopy has enabled us to look into the various submicroscopic structures of the cell that were not known to exist before, thus contributing greatly to our knowledge in the field of cytology. So, Cell is the structural and functional unit or the fundamental unit of the living organism, and consisting of variety of chemicals, right from atom to the molecules or the macromolecules or bio macromolecules or micromolecules or bio micromolecules or bio macromolecules are present in the cells or in the cytoplasm or nucleus of the cells and performing all the life processes, uh, whatever the biological functions performed by the living organisms, different living organisms, that are only due to the cells. The organisms might be unicellular or multicellular, but are composed of cells. The organisms might be unicellular or minicellular, might be plants, animals, or microorganisms, but all of which are performing their all biological processes or the life processes only due to a cellular structures consisting of a variety of biochemicals in the cells or a variety of cell organelles or variety of cell inclusions, with the help of which only the cell perform its function. The function may be the individual the cellular function or might be a collective cellular function of the particular organ or the system, but are very important for the survival, that is growth, development, or the survival or even reproduction of the living organisms, and thus which is having great importance. Cells are having great importance in the life of living organisms. At cellular level, the ultrastructure is concerned with larger repeated units that can be analyzed or studied with the help of microscopic techniques. So, with the help of different type of microscopes or the equipments, we can study the cellular structures or the elements properly so as to analyze their performance or the function in the living organisms. Or this is also having great importance or the application in a various industries also. The cell can be studied, the cell can be studied with respect to morphology, biochemistry, physiology, genetics, development, and molecular structure, which help in proper understanding of various life activities such as metabolism, growth, differentiation, heredity, and the evolution. So these are the some of the events or the activities or the biological processes or the functions performed by the cells in the living organism. So last time we also have explained the same definition to study the cell biology. So where we study or learned about the detailed structure or detailed morphology of the cells, detailed biochemistry of the cells, the physiological processes taking place in the cells or the nuclear materials in the form of chromosomes or the genes present in the nucleus, which are solely responsible for all the activities or the all physiological functions of the cell, that is the genetics, then development, that is formation of cells or the growth of cells, even the molecular structures, different type of biomolecules, that is lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, nucleic acids, having some sort of chemical structures or the molecular structures which can be studied under the branch of cytology or cell biology, and with the help of these we can study the various life activities of the cells or the organisms such as metabolism. So whatever the cellular biological biochemical reactions taking place in the cytoplasm of the cells, including the metabolism, or that will comprise or composite the metabolism. Then growth, differentiation, heredity, evolution at the cellular and the molecular levels is called as cell biology. Cell biology or cytology is the youngest branch of life science. The term cell was first used or put forth by Robert Hooke in 1665 to the texture of quark by means of magnifying lens. So just by observing the texture of quark cells with the use of magnifying lenses, the Robert Hooke observed the quark cells in the form of the boxes or the compartments of the cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of all type of living beings. So cell is the structural and functional unit of all the living things or all the living organisms. Cytological studies present two main problems. Cytological studies present two main problems: the exceedingly small size and the transparent nature of the cell and its components. Majority of cells are too small to be seen with the naked eye, and it was only after the invention of the microscope that the existence of the cell was noticed. So, while the study of cell or the cytology in a previous times or in the old times, there was two problems. One, that is the cells are having very small size or the microscopic, submicroscopic cell size, and which cannot be seen or observed with a naked eye. And another thing, that is the cell structures or the various components of the cells which appears to be transparent or clear. Thus we cannot differentiate, or we will fail to observe the respective structures or various components of the cells due to their transparent nature or the clear appearance. So majority of the cells are too small and thus cannot be seen or observed with a naked eye, and this was now possible. This was now possible to see even small sized cells after the invention of the microscopes or the different type of microscopes, that the existence of a cell was noticed or can be studied easily with the use of these sophisticated equipments or the microscopes, uh, have enabled us to see and observe the very small sized cells under the microscope with uh, much of the larger magnification or its size. Or another technique, that is a staining technique, which have also enabled us to see or to differentiate the various component of the cytoplasm or the nucleus of the cells due to the use of different type of stains or the dyes, which will give a particular color to the cytoplasmic contents or the cellular components, and thus making possible to us to differentiate the different cellular components with the staining techniques, different type of staining techniques, which nowadays we are using. That will also become important for the study of cells. That is invention of the microscopy or invention of variety of microscopes, and secondly the different type of staining techniques. So with the help of different type of staining techniques or different type of stains and the different type of microscopes, we can understand or we can study the various components of the cells easily. Then plasma membrane. So uh, the structure of prokaryotic and eukaryotic plant cells. So we are dealing with structure of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, and these are having structure of prokaryotic cells or the eukaryotic cells having first important component, which is present around or forming a covering membrane, protective covering of the cells, that is plasma membrane, uh, that enclose the cytoplasmic contents or the cellular components, or giving a particular shape or a size of the cells. So the first one is the plasma membrane. So cytoplasm of the bacterial cell is enveloped, the cytoplasm of the bacterial cell is enveloped by a thin plasma membrane which is composed of lipid and protein molecules. So, uh, the bacterial cells are the prokaryotic cells. So there are two type of cells, prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells. So first we are dealing with the prokaryotic cells, and prokaryotic cells are those cells which are having the cellular components such as plasma membrane or the outermost covering from the outside, that is a plasma membrane or cell wall, then follows cytoplasm or cytoplasmic matrix and a nucleoid mass. So there is a no definite nucleus present in the prokaryotic cells. So prokaryotic cells, example bacterial cells, they are having a nucleus without nuclear membrane, or the chromatin material or the nuclear material or the genetic material of the prokaryotic cells usually occurs in the center of the cytoplasmic matrix, and it appears as a nucleoid mass without nuclear membrane. So that is found in the form of nucleoid mass. There is no definite nucleus present in the prokaryotic cells or the bacterial cells. So plasma membrane of the bacterial cells, the plasma membrane of the bacterial cells is the outermost covering of the cell, and that will enclose the cytoplasm of the bacterial cells, or plasma membrane uh, of the bacterial cell enclosing the cytoplasm, uh, which is composed of lipids and the proteins. So there are different type of proteins and the lipids as biochemicals which compose it to form a plasma membrane of the bacterial cells. The plasma membrane serves as a permeability barrier. The plasma membrane serves as a permeability barrier, or that allows, the plasma membrane allows only certain molecules to pass through the plasma membrane, and thus becomes a permeability barrier. So it allows only the passage of certain molecules only, and excluding others. It contains oxidative or respiratory chain enzymes and multi-enzymes complexes which perform the function of mitochondria in eukaryotic cells. The plasma membrane shows invagination in cytoplasm called as mesosomes. Mesosomes are useful as the respiratory organs and synthesize materials for the extracellular transport and for the formation of the cell wall. So, plasma membrane is also having not only a protective covering or a semi-permeable membrane composed of proteins or lipids, but it also consists of number of respiratory chain enzymes or multi-enzyme complexes, and or the which are performing the function of mitochondria, because mitochondria are absent in the bacteria or the prokaryotic cells. So another important thing found in the prokaryotic cells or the bacterial cell, that is they are lacking mitochondria. So plasma membrane, there is a cell wall, then plasma membrane, then cytoplasmic matrix and the nucleoid mass without nuclear membrane present in the bacterial cell, but is having a plasma membrane which performs uh, the specific function of the transport of biomolecules and is a semi-permeable. So it does not allow all the components or all the substances pass through the plasma membrane, but it shows semi-permeability or it shows permeability. It acts as a permeability barrier, or it is a semi-permeable membrane, and thus allows certain substances to pass through the plasma membrane, that is outward or the inward movement or the transportation of the biomolecules through the plasma membrane. Then it also contains respiratory chain enzymes or multi-enzyme complexes, and which perform the function of bacteria like eukaryotic cells. The plasma membrane shows invagination in the cytoplasm called as mesosomes, which are found in the prokaryotic cells or the bacterial cells. So mesosomes are useful as respiratory organs and synthesize materials for extracellular transport and for the formation of the cell wall. Then capsule. The outer slimy layer, the outer slimy layer of the polysaccharides is called as capsule. So plasma membrane is present inside or just next to the cytoplasm, but outermost covering among the bacterial cell or the prokaryotic cell is called as capsule. The outer slimy layer of polysaccharides is called as capsule. It is an additional outer covering that is present in some bacterial cells, and it provides the protection against phagocytic engulfment, helps the cell adhere to the surfaces and the nutrients, and prevents desiccation or drying by retaining the moisture or the water contents. So, the presence of capsule or a cell wall present around the plasma membrane is also a specialty of certain bacterial cells. So, presence of outer slimy layer of the polysaccharides or the carbohydrates present just outside or to the outer surface exterior, that is presence of capsule. So, this represents the cell wall, and which forms a outermost covering of the certain bacterial cells. Some bacterial cells are having a outermost covering capsule or a cell wall, and this provides the protection against the phagocytic engulfment or devouring by other organisms. So, this prevents the phagocytic action or the activities of the other organisms with a bacterial cell. This also helps the cell adherence or the attachment to the surfaces and the nutrients, and also preventing the desiccation or the drying of the bacterial cells due to presence of a protective capsule around the plasma membrane. The bacterial cell will prevent the loss of water and retaining the moisture and preventing the desiccation or the drying of the bacterial cells. Then they flagella are the hair-like appendages that protrude from the cell wall. Flagella are helically shaped structures containing the protein flagellum, and it is not sheathed by the plasma membrane. So, there are flagella, bacterial cells or the prokaryotic cells, certain prokaryotic cells or the bacterial cells, they are possessing a flagellum, a single flagellum, which serves as a locomotory organ and composed of a protein called as flagellin. So, it is not sheathed by the plasma membrane. The flagellum rotates in a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction to propel the cell. So, while the movement of the bacteria, the flagellum undergoes clockwise or anti-clockwise rotation. Clockwise or anti-clockwise rotation of the flagellum brings about the passage of bacterium in a forward direction. So, for the movement of the bacteria, the flagellum undergoes its rotation either in a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, and thus ultimately the bacterial cell propels forward uh, and thus moving in a forward direction. Although the primary function of flagella is locomotion, it is also used for the attachment of the bacterial cell to the solid substratum. So this also helps in attachment of the bacterial cell to the substratum. Flagella is performing function of locomotion as well as attachment to the substratum. Flagellae are much longer than the pili, pili and are present on the bacterial cell in a low numbers. So flagella are less in number, but pili or pili, they are cilia-like processes and which are much larger in a number, present around the capsule of the bacteria. Pili or pili, they are hair-like appendages on the surface of the cell and that attach to the bacterial cells. They are composed of helically arranged protein called pili, and pilus, singular, is required for bacterial conjugation. Shorter pili called fimri help bacteria to attach to the surfaces, and they are generally shorter in length as compared to the flagella and are present throughout the bacterial cell surface. So entire bacterial cell surface is covered by the villi-like structure called as pili or pili or apilus. So which are present on the entire surface of the bacteria and which are useful for their attachment during the bacterial conjugation. So they are generally shorter in length as compared to the flagella and they are present throughout the bacterial cell surface. So these are the various components of the bacterial cells or the prokaryotic cells. Then next is cytoplasm. The cytoplasm of the bacterial cell is a dense colloidal with the granules of the glycogen, proteins and the fats. So cytoplasm of the bacterial cells is a dense colloidal with the granules of glycogen, proteins and the fats. Except ribosomes and mitochondria, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum and other organelles are absent. Except ribosomes, mitochondria, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum and other cell organelles are absent in the prokaryotic cells or the bacterial cells or the prokaryotic cytoplasm. So the ribosomes occur freely in the cytoplasmic matrix of the bacterial cell and they form a polyribosomes during protein synthesis. Certain photosynthetic bacteria shows the presence of chromatophores having bacteriochlorophyll. In the central portion of the cytoplasm is a single large circular double-stranded DNA molecule which is called as bacterial chromosome or just a nucleoid or nucleoid mass, which is a distinct nuclear region possessing double-stranded DNA molecule as a nucleoid mass called as a nucleoid and which is without nuclear membrane. So cytoplasm of the prokaryotic cell is a dense colloidal with granules of glycogen, proteins and fats. Only ribosomes are present as a cell organelle in the cytoplasmic matrix of the bacterial cell. Mitochondria, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum and other cell organelles are absent in the prokaryotic cytoplasm. The ribosomes are occurring freely in the cytoplasm and they forms polyribosome or the chain of ribosomes during the protein synthesis. Certain photosynthetic bacteria shows the presence of chromatophore or the pigment producing cells having bacteriophile, means certain bacteria are having a capacity of undergoing process of photosynthesis as they possess bacteriochlorophyll in their cytoplasm and there are certain chromatophores present in the photosynthetic type of bacteria. So in the central portion of the prokaryotic cells in the central portion of the cytoplasm of the prokaryotic cells or the bacterial cells is a single large circular double-stranded DNA molecule which is called as bacterial chromosome. So, there is a single large circular double-stranded DNA molecule representing bacterial chromosomes, and these distinct nuclear regions are also called as nucleoids. Then we will explain the example of the bacterial cell or the prokaryotic cell, that is Escherichia coli or E. coli. So, E. coli is a gram-negative, non-pathogenic, rod-shaped bacterium commonly found in lower intestine of the warm-blooded organisms. It is commonly used as a model organism by cell biologists because it divides rapidly and can be easily cultured in a laboratory condition. So, E. coli is the important bacterium or a model organism for the research purpose. So, it is a gram-negative, non-pathogenic, rod-shaped bacterium and is commonly found in lower intestine or large intestine of warm-blooded animals, and it is commonly used as model organism or the study organism by cell biologists because it divides rapidly or it can be easily cultured or grown or maintained in the laboratory conditions or in a culture, and it is having a very small chromosome. So, it is very important or useful organism or the bacterium for the research purpose. E. coli is about 2 micrometer long. E. coli is about 2 micrometer long and 0.8 to 1 micrometer thick and has outer cell wall of 100-degree angstrom unit thickness. Cell wall of the E. coli is 100-degree angstrom unit thick. The length is 2 micrometer and 0.21 micrometer thick. So, this is a rod-shaped bacterium having 1 by 2 micrometer size, 1 micrometer by 2 micrometer size, that is 2 micrometer length and 0.8 to 1 micrometer width or thickness. So, this is having a rod shape and having a outer cell wall with a 100-degree angstrom unit thickness. E. coli possesses flagella and are motile. They are movable. So, with the help of flagella, they can move from one place to other place. The cell wall consists of an outer membrane. The cell wall consists of an outer membrane containing lipopolysaccharides. The outer membrane composed of lipopolysaccharides, a periplasmic space with a peptidoglycan layer and an inner cytoplasmic membrane. So, this particular capsule or membrane covering or outer membrane called as the cell wall and is composed of lipopolysaccharides, periplasmic space with a peptidoglycan layer and an inner cytoplasmic membrane. E. coli has only one circular chromosome. E. coli has only one circular chromosome which consists of double-stranded DNA molecule of 1400 micrometer length. 1400 micrometer length. So, this is just a length of DNA molecule, double-stranded DNA molecule representing nuclear mass or the chromosome, circular chromosome of the E. coli bacterium and having length of 1400 micrometer. E. coli is commonly used as an indicator of fecal contamination of water bodies. E. coli is commonly used as an indicator of fecal contamination of water bodies. So, whatever the water bodies which are polluted or contaminated with the fecal material or the fecal feces or the fecal matter of the animals, containing E. coli. This organism is the normal flora of our intestine. This organism is the normal flora of our intestine because it occurs commonly in the large intestine. The bacterium, E. coli bacterium, occurs commonly in a large intestine, and it is non-pathogenic and thus is called as a organism called as a normal flora of the intestine. Helps our body to metabolize the food, vitamin K production and food absorption. So these are the some of the important functions. These are the some of the important functions performed by E. coli bacteria in the large intestine of the animals. So this organism or the bacterium E. coli is called as the normal flora of human intestine, helps our body to metabolize the food and vitamin K production and also the food absorption. So these are the important activities or the events happening in the human intestine which are advantageous or beneficial to the man, and thus this organism or the E. coli is called as a normal flora or normal organism of our intestine. Then this is the figure representing typical bacterial cell, that is Escherichia coli. So it is having a rectangular rod shaped structure, and it shows the outermost covering, that is a capsule possessing shorter ciliated structures or hair like processes called as pilus, and on one end there is a long flagellum that is also present emerging out of the capsule. Then this capsule, that is the outermost slimy protective covering or a membrane composed of polysaccharides called as a capsule that follows a cell wall, then cell membrane or the cytoplasmic membrane present just inside to the cell wall, then containing cytoplasmic matrix with a large quantity of granules of the proteins, lipids, glycogen, together with large number of ribosomes present in the cytoplasmic matrix of the bacterial cell as a cytoplasmic inclusions. Then it also shows a periplasmic space between the cytoplasm and the plasma membrane. Then in the center it shows a, a coiled structure composed of double-stranded DNA molecule representing bacterial chromosome. So this is what the structure of bacterium Escherichia coli, uh, uh, which already we have explained its information, that is shape, size, then various functions or various components of the cytoplasmic matrix and the functions of the Escherichia coli, and this is the structure of a typical bacterial cell, for example, Escherichia coli. So, with this, today we'll stop here, and next time we'll continue with the structure and function of the eukaryotic cell. So, today with the explanation regarding the prokaryotic cells or the structure of prokaryotic cells, and Escherichia coli or the bacterial cell will stop here, and next time we'll continue with the next point, that is structure and function of the eukaryotic cell. So with this we'll stop here. Thank you.